Hi guys, my name is Sophie and welcome to my Draw My Life. So on October the 9th, 2004, a baddie was born and there she is, and her name was Sophie Benjamin Augustine Manyo. I was born in the Philippines in Mabalacat, Pampanga, and in my family it was my mom, my dad, and my older brother who's 3 years older than me, and also we lived with my mima and grandpa who are my mom's parents. And for basically my entire childhood it was the six of us under one roof, and it was honestly so much fun. In our front yard we had a huge mango tree, and my grandparents also owned a store where all the truck drivers would stop by and eat food. And we also had lots of plants, lots of life, and also this hill in the corner which I loved so much. We also had two dogs named Chi-Chi and Uno, which I loved very dearly. I think Chi-Chi we got from the streets, and then Uno was like my dad's friend or something. Or my dad's friend from my dad's friend. We had family everywhere, and I was always in the car, and we were always either in Mabalacat, Lubao, or Betis visiting family, and I was just surrounded with so much love, and it was just honestly such a fun time, and I love my relatives back home so much. One of my other favorite core memories growing up was going to the mall all the time. SM, Margie Mall, Robinsons, you name it, I've been there. And you already know, of course, I grew up eating lots of Jollibee, and growing up, my favorite order was burger steak, and low-key it still is. But yeah, I had an amazing childhood, and honestly, I was like one of the only little baby girls of the family, so I was treated like a princess, and you already know it. And then we began school, and I kid you not guys, my school looked like this. Like, it was so tiny, it looked like a house. But yeah, my uniform was a white top, green skirt, and fun fact, there were only 5 of us girls in the prep level class, and I looked up to my teacher Belle so much. I wanted to be just like her, and I really hope they're all doing well. Overall, I had a really fun time in school, and I actually graduated as the valedictorian for my class with this really horrible gown. Fun fact, I couldn't speak Tagalog at all. I was the only English-speaking person in my grade, and I had some Tagalog lines at the end of my valedictorian speech, and it was really funny because I messed those up for real. But yeah, I remember getting a lot of medals and certificates, and yeah, I graduated. It was around this time when my parents were thinking of moving to Canada, and whenever I asked them why they chose to do it, it was because they thought of our future and wanted a better future for my brother and I. And guys, when I found out, I was so excited. I was over the moon. I was so excited to finally see snow, to see tall buildings, to take baths in a bathtub for the first time, and to ride a SkyTrain. And guys, I thought SkyTrains were literal, like, colorful trains flying in the sky. It was kind of funny, but I was so excited. And just like that, we were off to Canada. And guys, I will never forget this image. I remember looking back, about to board, and just seeing all of my family just saying goodbye and standing there, and it was so sad, but I was still really, really excited. But it was also very sad. I remember on the plane, I got this Mickey Mouse toy, like, finger puppet thing, and I kept it for years. I don't know if I still have it, but I will never forget receiving that. But yeah, this was me sitting on the plane, and I also remember eating beef steak for some reason. I don't know. And then we arrived in Vancouver, and I will never forget feeling the Canadian breeze for the first time. And there's me drawing the breeze. We moved in with my dad's sister and her family, so basically my aunt, uncle, and their 3 kids, and we lived with them for about 2 to 3 years, and there was a lot of us in that tiny apartment, and my grandma also joined the party a few years later. But it was so much fun, and guys, my cousins and I, we were literally besties. Like, we spent all our time together, had sleepovers, played on the Wii U, like literally everything. You also should have seen my brother and I's reaction to seeing a bathtub for the first time. I think we literally screamed. And also, this was my first time seeing snow, and I'll never forget this. I was on the balcony and it was magical. I also remember getting my first iPad, and iPads were new at this time, so this was a huge deal. But it was a family iPad, and this is where I first discovered YouTube and all these different games like Minecraft, Angry Birds, and those Funfair food cooking games. I don't know. And on YouTube, I always watched Annoying Orange and mermaids. Like, I had a big mermaid fixation for some reason. But yeah, I also was enrolled into piano lessons. I think I was like 9 or 10 or 11, I don't know. And then also I loved art and gymnastics. Gymnastics was another hyperfixation. Like, I was doing handstands in the hallway like all the time. And now it was school time. I started school in Canada as a second grader, and I was nervous, but I was also really excited. But it was so different, guys. It was also in second grade where I developed my first crush. Oh my gosh, guys, it was so funny. I was head over heels in love. Honestly, guys, life was good. Like, I was living in Canada with my family. It was cold. I was living my dreams until my dad had to go back home to the Philippines to work. He couldn't find a job in Vancouver, and I did not understand the concept of what he was doing back then. I just knew he had to leave. And something he told me recently, which makes me really sad, is that when he arrived back home for the first time and saw our picture frames, he had to flip them over because he couldn't see our faces. It made him too sad. But yeah, despite how sad it was, he still had to work hard for us, and we would call him all the time on Messenger, on Skype, on Viber, if you guys remember that. Honestly, it was quite a rough time. I missed him every single day, all the time. And it was also around this time where we moved. And shout out to my mom, because she literally did this all by herself, raising 2 kids and her husband not even there with her. Like, this must have been so insane for her. But yeah, I was honestly going through it. Like, I was going through puberty, guys. I wasn't seeing my cousins every day anymore. And I would, not even kidding, I would have a crying episode every single day. I just missed him so much, guys, and I probably stressed out my mom a lot because of this. But the only thing that made me feel better was watching YouTube videos and playing Minecraft. Guys, I kid you not, I would spend hours in my room just talking to my fake fans on my fake YouTube channel. And guys, this was like peak YouTube. I'm talking like 2014, 2016 YouTube. It was awesome. And this was my fake channel name, guys. I'm not even gonna say it, it's too cringe. But yeah, I fell so in love with watching YouTubers, and I wanted to be just like them. But yeah, despite missing my dad and crying every single day and having a fake successful YouTube career, I was also still in school. And some of my friends from elementary school are still my besties to this day. I remember in grade 5, we were all forced to join track and field, and I quickly learned that it was not for me. A sport that I did fall in love with, however, was volleyball. I loved volleyball, especially serving, guys. I remember my crush, oh my gosh, in grade 6, we played PE for volleyball. What? We played volleyball for PE, and then he said she is the best server. I don't think I stopped thinking about this interaction for the next 6 months. And by the end of grade 7, my dad was finally able to live in Canada with us forever. And looking back now, I finally understand the reason why he had to go back home, and I'm just so grateful for all the sacrifices he made for us. And we all live together now, and I was very much healed. Unfortunately, though, it was that year where my school caught on fire, and this was a huge deal for us because we were going to graduate that year, and I was really, really sad because I wanted to graduate at my old school. But everyone got moved to this new school, and at first I was sad, but by the end of the year I was like, wait, it wasn't that bad. So yeah, we graduated and we are now in high school. Honestly, guys, in the beginning of high school, I was so incredibly awkward and cringe. But I did fall in love with drama. It was definitely the thing that I needed the most, and it gave me so much confidence. And I just fell in love with acting. I fell in love with being on stage and performing for people. And yeah, I overall had a great high school experience. I graduated with my besties, I was involved, and it was time to move on to uni. But despite all the success in high school, the one downfall I had was my future. Like, I did not know what I wanted to do. I ended up choosing psychology as my intended major and ended up at my top uni choice, so that was good. But I quickly learned that this was hard. I felt really isolated my first semester, and I did not know what I was doing. I did not know what I wanted to become. I was thinking, like, should I be a teacher? Should I be in theater? Should I be a nurse? Even business for a hot moment? Like, I was so confused. But I still stuck with psychology, and that's currently what I'm still studying. I wanted to explore my options and I involved myself in a lot of things. I volunteered with kids, I did some marketing positions, I volunteered at a hospital, and even auditioned for a play, but I still didn't really know what I was doing. In March of this year, something really tragic happened. My grandpa unfortunately passed away, and this was a shock to all of us. It was so sudden, my parents had to fly home really quickly, and it was a pretty stressful time in my life. Throughout all of this, there was something I wanted to do, and that was to start a podcast. Other than watching YouTubers all the time, I also loved listening to podcasts. I've always wanted to make one, and I'll never forget this one day I was on the SkyTrain platform waiting for the train and just felt the biggest urge to just start. So I bought some mics, took a big deep breath, and recorded my first episode. And a few months later, took another big deep breath and started this YouTube channel. And it was definitely not easy at first. I was so embarrassed. I was crashing out every single day, but I knew this was something I've always wanted to do. And honestly, this decision, these risks have been the best risks I've ever taken. And fast forwarding to my life now, my childhood home in Mabalacat is no longer occupied, which is really, really sad. I still study psychology, and I still play piano, and other hobbies of mine include dancing, I like to read, I like to do art, and I still volunteer with kids, and I love doing it. And of course, some new hobbies of mine, some new passions unlocked. I love podcasting, and I love making videos. I just love doing them so much, and again, these are the best risks I've ever taken. And most importantly, I just really hope I've made my grandpa proud. He was a big reason why I began all of this, and yeah, I love you, Grandpa, and I miss you. Growing up, I used to watch Draw My Life videos all the time. I even made my mom get me a whiteboard because I wanted to make some of my own. So yeah, honestly, the fact that I'm making one right now and I'm recording my voice doing it, it's absolutely insane, and it is a dream come true. And that leads us to the end of my Draw My Life. Thank you for watching. Again, this was literally a dream come true. Little me is jumping for joy right now. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you in my next video.